Hello, Quaranteam. Just sitting here, enjoying a really lazy, snowy day in Denver. We had a bit of a struggle this morning, as you might have heard, um, with some of the distance learning. We're finally hitting that hard spot. And since it's a snowy day, and we can't go outside anyway, we're going to spend it in bed, near the nest, looking out the window, enjoying this beautiful view, and any movie we feel like it. We're probably going to order pizza again for dinner. Again. And it's going to be awesome because these days it's not about thriving as much as it is about creating a reality. Makes it a little bit easier to survive. But the anxiety management I wanted to discuss today was sent in by a quaranteamer who is a little bit younger, graduating from college, might be graduating a little bit early because she is so needed at the moment in healthcare. She has anxiety around this gigantic transition happening in this super scary moment, not particularly because of what's happening, but rather because it's hard entering a new environment that's already stressful, much less one that is amped up, been going on for a while, and she'll be entering knowing absolutely nothing at a time when people need to be at their best 24/7 in a brand new town, in a brand new place, unable to go out and make new friends or connect with the friends that she has now in person to get a hug when she's had a bad day. And I get all that. I really and truly do. So what I'm about to say might not be the most helpful thing, but this is what the perspective that I would cling to as you start to move forward. Don't distract me, please. This is important. Okay. I love you. You can hang out here. But if I don't, whenever you look at me, I forget what I'm talking about because I love you so much. Okay. So this is the perspective that I would cling to. God, you're lucky. You are so lucky. When I was in high school, everyone told me that college was going to be this amazing thing. And I would make a million friends and everything I had ever been in Tennessee would be left behind when I went to Georgetown. And man, that couldn't have been farther from the truth. It was a different narrative that was placed on me in a different set of stereotypes that I had to navigate once people heard my accent because I was different. So college was a bit of a letdown. I don't even like to think about my time there very much, to be perfectly honest. And then everyone told me while I was in college, don't worry about it. When you get to the real world, wherever that is, it's going to be amazing. You'll be able to find people just like you, people in your industry, and the world is wide open, and you won't have to work full time because I worked full time through college, and all you'll have to do is work, and then you'll have all this free time to do the things that you love to do, and you'll find people to do them with. That didn't turn out to be true either. So every place that I went to next, every next step was supposed to be this amazing thing. And it took a really long time for me to find that. Most of my 20s were spent trying to find that amazing thing that everyone promised me was right there that somehow I couldn't find. And then only when I would discuss this with older people, would tell me that I was ungrateful, that it was so much harder when they were younger, and that I had all these options. And like, how are these kids not happy with all these options? Making me feel like I'd done something wrong. And the quarter life crisis was a brand new phrase. And boy, boomers were not nice about it. So I tell you all that to tell you this. All of my 20s were a quarter life crisis, feeling like I was drifting. No one's promising you anything good right now. And that is such a gift. And I know that's hard to see because the things that are happening right now are scary and they are real. At the same time, there's no way you're going to be oversold on anything. And if 6 months from now, you say, hey, you know what? Wow, I can't do this. You can pivot. And that's something they don't really tell you is easier to do when you're younger because you still have more options. You can go to graduate school and do something totally different, a completely different direction. I'm not saying you have to, but the older you get, the harder it is to do that. The harder it is for anyone to want to allow you to do something new. The more of a risk it feels like. When you're young and nothing is really set, you're not walking away from anything. You're cutting your losses. And it seems smart, so you'll have more support. You will be walking into a really intense situation. But ask anyone in the military, especially my husband, he'll tell you all day long that those intense situations form bonds that last a lifetime. He's still really close with people that were in the military with him. He's still close with people on his submarine. He has a tattoo, and we almost named a child after someone that he knew on one of the submarines, someone I've never met. So, though, yes, it's scary and that's real, there are also bigger positives that are not going to be immediately noticeable, but will be in about 10 or 15 years. When you look at the people around you and the people ahead of you, the people who you think you want to be right now, and you see that who you think you are is a lot less solid and was a lot more disillusioned at your age, and probably a lot more directionless. So you have some advantages here that no one is sugarcoating what you're walking into, and no one's sugarcoating how difficult it's going to be. And everyone's having the same experience. So the likelihood of anyone trying to say it wasn't that bad is a lot lower than anyone else who says I've struggled and had a quarter life crisis in my 20s when there's no good reason. If you're struggling, there's going to be all kinds of reasons, which means you're going to get all kinds of validation, because we're all, to a certain degree, we're not in the same boat together, but everyone in healthcare right now is in it together. Very different resources, a different experience, but it is a shared experience with a group of people that you will be able to look back on and appreciate. And everyone will be like, oh yeah, that had to be hard. Again, I know it's cold comfort, but in those moments when the anxiety is overwhelming you, just know this: no one is ever going to tell you that anxiety shouldn't exist, or that there's something wrong with feeling the way that you feel. And pretty much anyone in that environment, if they say, are you okay? And you say, no, I'm not, I'm really scared, they're going to say, yeah, me too. And that is such a beautiful thing. I don't know if any of the other grown-ups listening right now, there has to be at least one person nodding, say, yes, I get it. And you might make a few. It's not like college where you're going to make all kinds of friends. You might make some friends at the hospital. You might, but it's still a workplace. And so it's not like you're necessarily going to make a whole lot of best friends with your new job. And no one's there. I don't know. The bonds that you form are going to be really tight, but they might not be super deep. And there's something really cool about that too, where you don't have to know everyone's business and you're not responsible for carrying it all day long. So I tell you all that to tell you this: no one knows what you're walking into either. And that's precisely what makes this so cool. And yeah, it's scary, but everyone knows it's scary, and no one can take that away from you. No one, ever. And that will make your 20s better than mine, I hope. It'll make your 30s better than mine, I hope. It'll give you all the things that I could not get no matter what I did when I was a young adult. And when you're my age, you won't need to be coached and loved, because you'll already know that you're winning at life. So today, go ahead, lean into it, be scared. And know that fear that you're feeling, the most beautiful thing about it is that everyone else feels it too. It's just as real as anything else. You're coached. You're loved. If you're anxious right now, I feel you. Find your nest. Take a sick day if you need to. But some days, man, is nothing better than making a snow day, even if it's not snowing, ordering pizza, and hopping in bed after putting on a cool pair of earrings and looking at them in the light for a while, because that's fun too. I stood in my kitchen and looked in a mirror for about 10 minutes. These sparkle. They look like big snowflakes. Have at it.